Chapter 3 The Darkest Hour, When Threads Break. The Temple of Eternal Threads wasn't a temple, it was a loom. The largest loom Lyra had ever seen, built into the side of Mount Kairos itself, with threads stretching from earth to sky, woven through standing stones that hummed with ancient power. The threads here weren't invisible, they were solid, tangible, glowing with inner light. Thousands of them, maybe millions, all part of a massive tapestry that showed everything. Lyra stood at the entrance, overwhelmed. She could see her own village woven into the fabric, could see her mother's thread, bright and worried, searching for her missing daughter, could see Mira's thread, still pink and innocent, dancing through days yet to come.
It's beautiful,
she breathed.
It's dying,
Master Aemon said flatly. He gestured to sections of the tapestry, and now Lyra saw what he meant. Throughout the magnificent weaving, there were gaps, dark spaces where threads had simply stopped. And at the edges, the tapestry was fraying, unraveling in slow motion, reality itself coming apart strand by strand.
This is the true tapestry,
Aemon explained, settling onto a stone bench that looked like it had been part of the mountain for millennia.
Not the metaphysical concept you've been seeing, but the actual physical manifestation. Every thread here corresponds to a life, a connection, a possibility. When threads break in the real world, they break here too. And lately...
He didn't finish. He didn't need to. Lyra could see the damage accelerating, new breaks appearing even as she watched.
Why is it happening?
She asked.
That,
Aemon said,
is what you're here to discover. I can teach you to weave, child, but I cannot tell you what needs to be woven. That's not how this works.
Over the next weeks, or was it months, time moved strangely at the peak of Mount Kairos. Aemon taught her the true art of weaving, not just seeing threads, but understanding them. Not just pulling them, but knowing when to pull and when to let them be. He taught her the difference between a thread that was meant to break and one that was being cut prematurely. Showed her how to read the patterns within patterns, the grand design that emerged from billions of individual lives intersecting. And he was, as Kale had warned, impossibly difficult.
No, no, no!
Aemon would shout, swatting her hands away from a practiced thread.
You're forcing it. Weaving isn't about control, girl. It's about collaboration. The threads have their own will, their own direction. Your job is to help them find their best path, not to impose your will upon them.
But this thread is heading toward disaster,
Lyra protested, showing him a simulation where a merchant's thread led directly to a fatal accident.
If I just adjust it slightly.
Then you become Corvus.
Aemon snapped.
You saw what happened to him. He thought he knew better. Thought he could eliminate all suffering, all pain, all death. But pain teaches. Loss transforms. Death gives life meaning. Remove those threads, and existence becomes hollow, meaningless.
So we just let people suffer?
We let people live.
Aemon corrected, his voice softening.
Suffering, joy, growth, loss. These are all part of the pattern. Our job isn't to create paradise. It's to maintain balance, to repair breaks when they happen unnaturally, to prevent the tapestry from collapsing entirely.
But the tapestry was collapsing. Every day more threads broke. Every night, Lyra lay awake, feeling reality unravel, hearing the distant screams of lives cut short. Kale noticed her exhaustion. He'd stayed at the temple, ostensibly to continue his own training, but Lyra suspected he was really there to keep her grounded. He had a gift for appearing whenever her thoughts spiraled too dark, usually with tea and terrible jokes.
Why do weavers make terrible comedians?
He asked one evening, finding her standing at the loom, staring at the growing darkness.
I don't know. Why?
Because they can see the punchline coming from miles away.
He handed her a cup of tea.
Master Aemon sent me. Says you've been at this for 16 hours straight and need to rest.
I can't rest. Every moment I waste, more threads break.
And you think you can stop it by not sleeping?
Kale settled beside her.
Lyra, you're training, learning. You can't fix what you don't understand yet.
But people are dying while I learn.
People are always dying. That's what threads do. They end. The question is whether they end naturally or whether something is cutting them.
He paused.
Have you asked Master Aemon what he thinks is causing the breaks?
He says I need to figure it out myself.
Typical.
Kale studied the tapestry thoughtfully.
But I've been watching too, and I've noticed something. The breaks aren't random.
Lyra turned to him sharply.
What do you mean?
Look here,
He pointed to a section of darkness.
and here, and here. They form a pattern, almost like someone is cutting their way towards something, or away from something.
Lyra looked where he indicated, and her blood ran cold. He was right. The breaks formed a path through the tapestry, a trail of destruction leading toward,
The center.
she whispered.
They're cutting toward the center of the pattern.
What's at the center?
Everything. The foundation. The first thread that all other threads connect to.
She felt ice in her veins.
If that thread breaks, the entire tapestry collapses. Reality ends. Everything ends.
They ran to find Master Aemon. The old weaver was in his meditation chamber, surrounded by threads that floated around him like a galaxy of light. His eyes were closed, his breathing shallow, and his own golden thread pulsed with intense concentration.
Master Aemon,
Lyra called urgently.
we've discovered something.
I know.
He said without opening his eyes.
I've known for some time.
Then why didn't you tell me?
Because you needed to discover it yourself. Needed to learn to read the pattern, not just see individual threads.
He finally opened his eyes, and Lyra was shocked to see how exhausted he looked. How old.
The entity cutting the threads. It's not Morana. She was merely a symptom. The true threat is something far older and far more dangerous.
What is it?
The void between threads.
Aemon's voice carried a weight of ancient fear.
The emptiness that exists in the spaces where the tapestry doesn't reach. It's been growing, slowly, for millennia. And now, it's become conscious, hungry. It wants to consume the tapestry entirely, to return all of existence to pristine nothingness.
Kale's face had gone pale.
That's not possible. The void is just empty space. It can't think, can't want.
It wasn't supposed to.
Aemon agreed.
But the tapestry has been damaged so many times, by wars, by disasters, by weavers like Corvus trying to rewrite reality, that gaps formed. And in those gaps, the void found room to grow, to become something new, something that sees the tapestry not as beautiful complexity, but as chaos that must be corrected.
How do we stop it?
Lyra demanded. Aemon's silence was answer enough.
You can't stop it.
Lyra realized.
That's why you needed me. Because you're not strong enough anymore.
I've been holding it back for 50 years,
Aemon said quietly.
using my own thread as a barrier, weaving myself into the pattern so deeply that the void couldn't reach the center without consuming me first. But I'm old, child. My thread is fraying. And when it breaks, and it will break soon, the void will reach the center thread in hours.
Then I'll take your place.
Lyra said immediately.
Show me how to weave the barrier.
It requires sacrifice.
Aemon interrupted.
To become the barrier means weaving yourself so completely into the tapestry that you cannot leave, cannot live a normal life, cannot even die normally, because your thread becomes part of the foundation itself. You would be alive, but trapped, conscious, but isolated, holding back the darkness forever.
Lyra thought of her mother, of Mira, of her village, and all the ordinary, beautiful moments of life she'd left behind.
How long do we have?
She asked.
Days, maybe less.
Aemon stood, moving to the great loom.
I can teach you the weaving, but I cannot make the choice for you. And you should know, there's another option.
What option?
We could let it happen.
Aemon's words fell like stones.
Let the void consume the tapestry. Let reality end. And in the ending, there would be no more suffering, no more death, no more struggle. Just peaceful nothingness. It's what Corvus wanted, in a way. What part of every suffering soul wants.
That's not a choice.
Lyra said angrily.
That's just giving up.
Is it?
Aemon met her eyes.
Or is it the wisest choice? The tapestry has been breaking for centuries. Perhaps it's time to let it end with dignity, rather than struggle on, inflicting more suffering, more loss, more grief upon countless souls.
You don't believe that.
I don't know what I believe anymore.
Aemon admitted, and suddenly he looked ancient beyond measure.
I've held the barrier for 50 years, child. 50 years of isolation, of being unable to touch another person, of watching everyone I loved age and die, while I remained trapped in the pattern. Sometimes I wonder if I made the right choice, if perhaps merciful oblivion wouldn't have been kinder.
The temple seemed to hold its breath. Outside, storm clouds gathered, and Lyra could feel it. The void, pressing against reality, eager and patient.
I need time to think,
she said.
Time is what we don't have.
Aemon replied.
The void accelerates its attack. My thread frays faster each day. You must decide, Lyra. Will you take my place? Will you sacrifice your life to preserve the tapestry? Or will you let existence end?
Lyra fled. She ran from the temple, down the mountain paths, not caring where she went. Kale followed, calling her name, but she didn't stop until she reached a cliff edge where she could see the world spread below her. Her world. The village of Chimera, a cluster of lights in the darkness. The rivers and forests and mountains, all woven together in the grand tapestry, all of it poised to end.
I can't do it.
She whispered when Kale finally caught up to her.
I can't trap myself forever. I can't give up everything.
Then don't.
Kale said simply.
But if I don't, everyone dies.
Everyone dies anyway, eventually. That's what threads do.
He sat beside her on the cliff edge, his own damaged thread pulsing in the darkness.
The question isn't whether to prevent death. It's whether the cost of prevention is worth it.
Of course it's worth it. Billions of lives.
One life.
Kale interrupted, pointing at her.
Your life, the only one you get. Is saving everyone else worth erasing yourself?
How can you even ask that?
Because I know what it's like to be trapped in a thread that won't let you truly live.
Kale said quietly.
My thread was cut, but it kept going, and I thought that made me lucky, special. But I've spent 10 years unable to really connect with anyone, unable to feel truly alive, just existing as a patch on reality's fabric. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, let alone someone I...
He stopped abruptly.
Someone you what?
Kale looked away.
Someone I've come to care about.
Lyra's heart twisted. She reached out and, for the first time, deliberately touched Kale's thread. Really touched it, felt it, understood it. And she felt his loneliness, yes, but also his courage. His determination to make his cursed existence meaningful. His fierce protectiveness toward her, not because he wanted something from her, but because he genuinely didn't want her to suffer as he had.
Kale,
She whispered.
your thread. It's not just damaged. It's beautiful. All these tangles, they're connections you've refused to give up on. You say you can't truly live, but you're more alive than most people I've known.
His amber eyes met hers, vulnerable and afraid.
Don't romanticize it. I'm broken, Lyra. And if you take Eamon's place, you'll be broken too. Differently, but just as completely.
So what do I do?
I don't know. But I know you have until dawn to decide. And I know that whatever you choose, I'll stand with you.
They sat together on the cliff edge as night deepened, watching the stars emerge, each one a thread in the cosmic tapestry, burning bright and brief and beautiful. And Lyra realized she was crying, because she already knew what she had to choose. Dawn found her back at the temple, standing before Master Eamon.
Teach me.
She said, her voice steady despite her terror.
Teach me how to weave the barrier.
Eamon studied her for a long moment.
You're certain?
No, but I'm willing.
That will have to be enough.
He gestured to the great loom.
Come, we begin immediately. And Lyra,
He paused.
thank you for giving an old man permission to finally rest.
The lesson was brutal in its simplicity. Eamon showed her how to take her own thread, that silver gold strand that was her life, herself, her existence, and weave it into the pattern at the center of the tapestry. How to spread herself so thin across reality that she became transparent, present everywhere and nowhere, alive but not living, a ghost in the machine of existence.
It will hurt.
Eamon warned.
Not physical pain, but something worse. You'll feel every thread in the tapestry as if it's your own. Every death will be your death. Every joy will be your joy. Every moment of suffering, every instant of bliss, you'll experience all of it simultaneously, forever.
How do you bear it?
Lyra asked.
You don't. You just endure.
Eamon smiled sadly.
But there are moments of beauty, too. Moments when you see a thread transform into something magnificent. When you witness love or courage or creativity blooming in the pattern. Those moments almost make it worthwhile.
Almost. Lyra took a shaking breath and reached for her thread, and then Kale's hand closed over hers, stopping her.
Wait!
He said urgently.
There has to be another way.
There isn't.
Eamon said tiredly.
The barrier requires a weaver's thread. There's no substitute.
What about mine?
Kale demanded.
My thread is already damaged, already barely part of the pattern. Use it instead.
It won't work. Your thread was severed. It lacks the connection to the whole that the barrier requires.
Then what if we combined them?
Kale's eyes were wild, desperate.
My thread and Lyra's. woven together. Share the burden. Wouldn't that work?
Eamon's expression shifted. Surprise, then consideration, then something like hope.
I don't know. It's never been tried. The traditional method requires a single weaver's sacrifice, but theoretically, if two threads were woven tightly enough together, deeply enough entwined.
Would it work?
Lyra asked.
Possibly. But it would bind you together forever. Not romantically, though perhaps that too. But fundamentally, your threads would become one thread. You'd share everything, thoughts, feelings, experiences. You'd never truly be alone, but you'd also never truly be separate. And you'd both still be trapped in the barrier. Two prisoners instead of one.
Kale and Lyra looked at each other.
I can't ask you to do this.
Lyra said.
You're not asking. I'm offering.
Kale took her hand.
I've been alone in my broken thread for 10 years. If I'm going to be trapped forever, I'd rather be trapped with someone
He stopped again, but this time he continued.
someone I love.
The words hung in the air, precious and terrifying.
I barely know you.
Lyra whispered.
Then we'll have forever to learn.
Kale smiled, though tears streaked his face.
What do you say, Weaver? Want some company in your eternal prison?
Lyra thought of her mother, of Mira, of all the threads in the tapestry burning bright and brief and beautiful. And she thought of spending eternity alone versus spending it with someone who understood, who cared, who chose to stand beside her even knowing the cost.
Yes.
She said. Eamon wept, actually wept, as he showed them how to braid their threads together, how to twist silver gold and broken brown into a single strand strong enough to hold back the void, how to sacrifice themselves not separately but together, sharing the burden and the isolation and the endless vigil. The weaving took hours or days. Time became meaningless as Lyra felt herself dissolving, spreading thin across the tapestry. She felt Kale beside her, no, within her, their thoughts and feelings blending until she couldn't tell where she ended and he began. And then she felt the void. It pressed against the tapestry like a living thing, hungry and cold and utterly alien. It didn't hate existence. It simply couldn't comprehend why existence would choose to be chaotic and painful and complicated when nothingness was so much simpler. Their combined thread settled into place at the center of the pattern, forming a barrier of woven light. The void recoiled, frustrated, then settled into patient waiting. It would try again, would test the barrier every moment of every day, forever. And Lyra and Kale would have to hold it back forever.
I'm sorry.
Eamon's voice came from very far away.
I'm sorry I couldn't find a better way. I'm sorry you had to.
It's done.
Lyra heard herself say, though the voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere.
Go, Master Aemon. Rest. You've earned it.
She felt his golden thread finally relax, finally fray, finally end, and his last emotion, bleeding through the tapestry as he died, was relief so profound it almost felt like joy. Then there was only the barrier, the vigil, the endless watch against the hungry dark, and Kale's presence, woven so tightly with hers that she could feel his determination, his fear, his love.
Are you there?
She thought, not sure if the thought was hers or theirs. Always came the response, in a voice that was both and neither.
We're together. Whatever comes, we're together.
The temple stood empty now. The great loom hummed with power, its center thread glowing with their combined sacrifice. And somewhere, far below, In a village at the mountain's foot, Lyra's mother woke from a dream of her daughter and wept, knowing somehow that her child was both lost and saved. The tapestry held, but at what cost? End of chapter 3.